Good afternoon, my dear listener. The topic of our day today is the organization of storage department in the pharmacy and the rules of storage of pharmaceutical goods. Today we'll stop at the basic requirement to the storage of pharmacy goods in pharmaceutical organization and the work of storage department. The main reference that you may study the issues more detail you can see in the list. The sale and supply of medicine is an important part of the pharmacist's role. Pharmacy needs commodity supplies for providing of its continuous and rhythmic work. The commodity supplies of pharmacies includes commodities which are present in pharmacy and its structural subdivisions. In pharmacy, commodity supplies can be concentrated in the separate department of supplies, hospital and inter-hospital pharmacies, community pharmacies, etc. In the prescription department of pharmacy with the right for compounding of drugs, in a ready-made drug department, if functioning of other department in pharmacy establishment is not foreseen. The storage department and its pharmaceutical personnel who are responsible for keeping to the commodity supplies and their storage carry out several functions. Determination of current deficit of medicine, timely order of medicine, organization of acceptance of commodity and entrance control, providing other departments of pharmacy with medicine, and good storage of medicines. Based on fulfilling functions, the storage department should have the following areas: room or zone for storage of drug, herbal drugs, bandaging material, auxiliary materials, packaging, etc. Room for servicing healthcare facilities if need. Room for laboratory and packing operations, preparation of concentrates, intermediate products, and others. Workplaces should be equipped by small mechanization, weight for packaging liquids, devices for dosing and packaging of powders, caps on bottles, devices for filtering solution, mixing of powders, magnetic mixer, etc. Staff of the department includes head of department, his or her assistant, pharmacist technologies, packager, etc. Now we will pay attention to the proper condition for storage areas. Each drug storage area shall be maintained in a clean and orderly condition. The storage area shall be dry, well ventilated and well lighted. Provision shall be made for adequate dust, humidity and temperature controls to ensure drug stability, so the apartment must be equipped by thermometers and hygrometers. Storage of drugs and medical devices is desirable to perform in accordance with good storage practice, the international standard, which is designed for all employees relating to the storage, transportation and distribution of pharmaceutical products. Good storage practice is closely related to other types of good practice as good manufacture practice, good distribution practice, good pharmaceutical practice, etc. Good storage practice describes the specific action necessary for the proper storage and transportation of pharmaceutical products and can be used by manufacturers, importers, suppliers, pharmaceutical products, pharmacies, medical services, etc. Requirements for the storage of pharmaceutical goods are obligatory to all pharmaceutical organizations located in any state, that is, drug manufacturers, drug wholesalers, pharmacy organizations, individual entrepreneurs licensed for pharmaceutical activity, healthcare organizations and their separate subdivisions as outpatient clinics, paramedic centers, Department of General Family Practice located in rural regions where there are no pharmacy organizations. Premises of the pharmacy has to be equipped with racks, shelves, cabinets, safes, pallets, air conditioning system, refrigerators, and security and fire department alarm. Access control system, ventilation system, thermohygrometers, or other equipment used to record temperature and humidity. Medicine and other drugstore products groups must be stored in accordance with the requirements of good storage practice and regulatory document of the state, instruction for medical use, information contained on the primary or secondary packaging of the medicinal drug and transport container. Medical and pharmaceutical products can be divided into 4 groups. Medicine, which include pharmacological agents and medicines, medical equipment, devices, apparatus, medical products, dressing and means for them, optics, rubber and latex products, etc., and parapharmaceutical products, mineral waters, dietary supplements, vitamin and mineral complexes, baby and dietary food. Drugs in a storage area shall be accurately labeled. Until a drug is administered or dispensed, it shall be kept in the manufacturer's original container, showing the manufacturer's lot number and expiry date. Drugs in the storage area shall be free from adulteration. Appropriate procedures shall be established to minimize the hazard of cross-contaminations. All drugs shall at all the times be stored at the temperature which complies with the standards established by the current volume of the pharmacopoeia articles. Performance of requirement of this instruction is obligatory for all pharmacy establishments, regardless of their submission and patterns of ownership. Placing drugs and medical devices should be on the shelves, in the closets, and if necessary on the special pallet on the floor. To avoid errors when using, is not recommended placing next to tune by name drug for internal use, which differ significantly higher doses. Terms of the storage of various groups of drug and medical devices depend on taking into account their physical and chemical properties of drugs, pharmacological groups for pharmacy and healthcare organization, the methods of application, internal or external, as well as the route of administration, aggregate state, liquid, solid, soft gases, etc. Storage of medicine must be carried out according to the toxicological groups also as medicinal products containing potent toxic substances, then medicine subject to quantitative accounting, and the last, narcotic and psychotropic drugs. Highly active and radioactive materials, narcotics, both other dangerous materials and pharmaceutical products, and also fire and explosive substances, for example, inflammable liquids and firm substances, gases under pressure, should be kept in especially located places equipped with additional means of safety and protection. Materials and pharmaceutical products should be kept so that do not admit pollution, mixing and cross-contaminations. Narcotic preparations should be kept according to the international conventions and national acts for a turnover of narcotic drugs. The damaged product should be withdrawn and placed separately also. Drugs that require protection from light, like antibiotics, vitamins, gallon drugs, corticosteroids, etc., should be stored in the containers with dreaming materials. Glass container with orange glass, metal and plastic containers color black, brown or orange in a dark room or closet, painted inside with a black paint, completely protected from light. Drugs that require protection from moisture, like antibiotics, glycoside, enzymes, should be stored in a cool place with a tightly packed container of materials that are impenetrable to water vapor, glass, metal, aluminium, plastic container. Distinguished group of drugs identified as hygroscopic properties as barbamyl, glucose, dibazole, potassium iodide, sodium bromide, etc. that can be stored in dry place in a glass container with a tight blockade. Pour on top paraffin. For drugs that require protection from evaporation, should be stored in a cool place in a tightly sealed container with a pocket material like glass, metal, aluminium, etc. Storage of drugs that require protection from the effect of high temperature, like bacterial, hormonal, vitamins, antibiotics, medical, performed at a room temperature from 18 to 20 degrees, cool from 12 to 15 degrees. Normal condition of storage is considered storage in a dry, well-aired room at temperature from 15 to 25 degrees, or depending on climate condition up to 30 degrees. Extraneous smells, other sources of pollution, and intensive light should be excluded. Storage of odors, coloring, and disinfectants should be separated in a tightly closed container, impervious to odors apart from the names. Away from the premises for the storage of plastic, rubber, and metal products, facilities for obtaining purified water. Herbal drugs must be stored in a dry, well-ventilated area in a clean, dry without any odors contained at the optimum temperature from 18-20 degrees and humidity 30-40%. Dressing products should be stored in a dry, ventilated area in a closet on shelves, and pallets should be colored in a bright oil paint and kept clean. Special storage conditions require flammable and explosive medicines and medicinal products. Flammable and inflammable substances must be stored separately from other materials, away from heat, in tightly sealed containers. Poisonous drugs, regardless of the dosage form, should be stored in a locked metal cabinets that are isolated material room with bars on the windows. Controlled substances shall be stored in a substantially constructed, locked in a container such as a cabinet or safe. All prescription drugs shall be stored in an area which is under the immediate control. Vaccines should be stored in an area away from frozen medication and protected from light. Persons who are responsible for storage of medication also carry out the control after terms of their expiry date. For this purpose, they conduct the special book. That's shortly all that you have to know about the storage of pharmaceutical products, but I want to underline you that the majority of counterfeit drugs become this in the reason of bad storage terms. That is why this topic is very important for the pharmacist. Thank you for your attention. Glad to see you next video.